official show covering CWL esports. I am joined weekly by 4 of the best players in the world, and I'm excited for a new show. Let's introduce our players. Directly to my left, we've got MadCat of Splyce. How you doing, buddy? You excited to be here? You look thrilled, though.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're going to be a handful today, aren't you? I don't think I heard what your responses were. And then next up, JKap from Luminosity, world champ.
That's me.
We got a couple world champs here. Actually, MadCat's the only one who's not. But how you doing, buddy?
Doing great, man. Happy to be here. I'm like, Dylan.
That's all right. We'll warm up to him. That personality is going to come out by the end of this show. Next up, Attach from FaZe.
I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you.
Thanks for having me.
All of you, I believe, have been on Hot Mic before, so we've got a veteran crew here, but thanks for coming on. And then, finally, one of the greatest players in the history of Call of Duty. You can say that for basically all of you, but Clayster, eUnited, how you doing, sir?
Doing all right, man. Been playing since 1960.
Right?
Just keeping it going.
This guy's ancient.
All right, well, we have a fun show lined up. Our first segment is the CWL debrief. This is where we're going to break down some of the action from Division B, but I actually want to open it up with a clip and discuss it. If you guys haven't seen this yet, there was a pretty sick snipe from your teammate Tommy. He got a collateral. Let's roll the clip in case you guys haven't seen it.
I actually haven't seen this clip yet.
Yeah, so typical spot, and that was real close to being 3. All right, the question I kind of have for you guys, and the mics will typically be hot for all of you during these videos, is one, have any of you ever seen a triple collat in competitive? That's the closest I've seen.
I don't
believe so. I don't think there's been a triple collat out of the actual tournament.
No.
Yeah,
a few collaterals here and there, but nothing triple.
And for you, was Tommy freaking out during that? Or was
it was a bit of a mediocre play, to be honest.
Well, what did you guys think about Epsilon like stacking up there? I understand you're hitting mid, but that's a pretty common spot to snipe.
Probably not the best strategy.
They were just hoping they didn't get shot.
I mean, maybe they wanted to create the first triple collat in competitive.
Yeah, I mean, it's like being a part of the worst comeback of all time. You know, you want to be a part of being triple collat.
Oh yeah, is that what it was? Just so someone will remember the team and the players? I'm kidding, Epsilon. You guys do great stuff. Just not yet in this particular league. Let's keep moving. Let's take a look at the Division B standings. We're going to talk about performances from your guys' rosters, also the other 4 teams out here this weekend, so we'll take a look at it. You guys all have to memorize this exactly, as I will ask questions later. I'm kidding. But Luminosity is sitting at the top. Epsilon, who we just referenced, struggling, as they haven't won a lot of maps and haven't found that first victory. But let's go team by team. Let's start at the top here with Luminosity. JKap.
What was that?
That
guy just made the weirdest sound ever.
Oh, God. Luminosity, Cap, what makes this team special, man? You guys are at the top. You're coming off the second place finish in New Orleans.
We're just disgusting, dude. I don't know. No, we just get along really well. We're all obviously really talented. We've been good for years, all of us, just individual players. But we get along really well and have fun while playing, which is a big help, actually.
Well, what did you think at first? You know, obviously the way the team formed was kind of odd. You know, you guys get dropped from Envy, then, you know, Saints is off of Luminosity. Stuff sort of goes down in a weird way, but then you 4 come together. Did you realize the potential right when it happened, or were you kind of nervous in a way?
I mean, I knew we'd be good. I think specifically having just John by my side, like John's just so good, and then Octane also, they've been like the past 2-3 years now, they've been like 2 of the top 5 players pretty consistently, I feel like. So, you know, having those 2 on a team, I was never really concerned about the talent on the roster or our performance.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see if you guys can keep it up. You look very strong. Next roster I want to talk about is going to be Envy. This question's kind of the group. Have they finally arrived, or are they finally close to, you know, seeing the potential that we kind of expected from this team?
I think
they're definitely improving, but Replays and I played terrible against them. So, and we still could have very easily won that series after having the worst series of my career.
That was the first series of day 1, right?
Yeah.
Kicked off everything.
I mean, like, Slasher's arrived.
But yeah, Slasher's been...
Like, he always arrives at events. I just don't know what's going on. Like, he should be, like, winning every event with them stats.
Yeah,
I think they're getting...
He's been kind of nuts.
I think they're getting better, but, like, I saw the stats for the group so far. Slasher's like a 1.5.
1.6, yeah.
1.6.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He has, like, 30% of his team's kills, maybe even more. It's like...
Yeah.
It's like... Slasher's disgusting. I obviously played with him the past 2 years. I've never doubt his talent, but you can't really rely on that to do that every series. So
Well, it's a little bit different here. Like, it's not like a a tournament where you might play 7 series in a row and you expect maybe, I don't know, a fall off in performance. If you're just getting ready for 1 series a day, I agree. I don't expect him to either, but he's been kind of nuts.
Yeah.
Clay, any thoughts kind of on the MV team? You think, like, I think for me it was who kind of like, when is he going to get back to what we expect him to be? Have you seen glimmers of that yet?
I mean, here and there, but in the end, when you look at this team, like, they've had 3 good matches in their first week of the league, so I'm not really putting too much emphasis on that.
Okay.
I think it's
Fair.
just the first week of a 4-week league. They need to continue showing consistent performances for them to finally arrive.
Yeah, and they haven't had the most difficult schedule either, but I feel like we're seeing glimmers. I expect this team to be very good. We'll see if they can continue to prove that. But we'll keep it going. Attach, FaZe, you guys are up next. I kind of want to ask you, after losing to Envy day 1, and you had a very tough, on the slate, day 2 was very tough for you. How important was that? Like, what was the conversation like after day 1, like, going into that second day?
Replays and I just knew we didn't play too well at all. Probably one of the worst series in my career, and we still could have very easily pushed it to last map and clutched up. But it kind of was like an epiphany moment for me, so I had to start hitting the gym again, and since then, we haven't lost a series, and we're just going to keep it up.
So gym is why?
The gym's a factor?
It's probably only the gym.
I actually, kid you not, for me, I feel that I commentate better if I go to the gym that day. I don't know if it's all in my head or if it's just something
I just like feel better.
Before.
Like I just like feel better. Like everything about me just better. My aroma, is that the right word?
Aroma.
Your aura?
Aura, shit.
Aroma,
I just feel
like your smell. Do you
I
smell good?
probably smell a little good. Do I smell good?
You're all right.
All right, but I just feel
Not too
better.
bad.
Bring some more positive energy, some positive vibes, and then also the team just plays well together, work well together.
All right,
do our
well,
thing.
you guys definitely turned it around. You've looked really impressive in some of the series. Next up, Splyce. Let's talk about just kind of the situation for you, MadCat, because obviously it's unfortunate. Jared couldn't be here to kind of to kick off that first week.
Yes.
Felony comes in. It worked out for you guys. I guess just kind of break down the positives and negatives for me by having Felony fill in. How'd it go?
I think Fellow was like the best replacement we could have got for Jared. It was like the only decent sub left on the list, apart from Haggy saying he was an SMG.
But no, Haggy got third being an SMG player. Haggy got third.
He's not an SMG player, let's be honest. But yeah, he's probably the best replacement. His vibes were on point. Actually enjoyed being around the kid. Great guy, and he brought a lot to the table, to be honest. Apart from the 8 kills the first map, but we'll let that slide.
Well, I was actually going to say,
It got
like,
better from there.
yeah, did that first map kind of, were you nervous at first? What was he, 10 and 29 or something like that? Were you guys like, oh, shit.
Yeah, I put a score, but I was like, this might go a bit bad. But when we watched it back, he was actually playing the map really well. There was like some unfortunate timings. He kind of like played a different way of Jared. I just don't think he understood of what we needed from him that precise moment, because that was like the first time we'd play like a competitive match with him. So.
Well, you do have Jared coming back. Is he here now?
Yeah, I mean, if we would have played like Epsilon probably first, we would have beat them. He would have got a gist of how we played. We wanted him to play, and then he would have got 8 kills that first map, and eUnited would have got 3-1. But
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Well, I guess the question I kind of have then, you guys, both of your losses were Game 5, correct? To FaZe and
Yes.
United. So, I mean, in your head right now, if you had Jared, would you guys be 4-0 right now, so to get the top? At least tied with LG.
I don't know. I'd like to say we'd beat eUnited that first map. Wherever it goes from there goes on. But
Because that was still like a 250, 230 type game, wasn't it?
yeah, I
Really
think we lost
close?
like
Yeah.
220, I think.
Okay.
30 points.
And then the FaZe game, I think the ban picks go a bit differently. I'm not sure how the series exactly goes, but the ban picks go differently.
But do you feel pretty good to be sitting at 2-2 considering the difficult circumstances?
Yeah, I think the losses being map 5 definitely help if we go into rematch and beat these guys. It definitely works in our favour, but we just kind of have to win the next 3 games to put ourselves in a decent position.
Okay. All right. Well, good to hear about the Splyce things. Clay, you're up next to chat eUnited. First off, can you never play Arden Forest Hardpoint again?
I mean, to be honest with you, I think a lot of people are a lot too critical. I don't know what word I'm looking for. They're too critical on that map of us, man. We start off way too slow. Look at here, right? We're down 100 points, and it's first rotation. Like, you just can't let that happen. I mean, you even look at the scoreboard. We have somebody with 9, somebody with 8, somebody with 12, and then Preston has 23 in the CTF. I think we end up still losing this CTF. I honestly think people are just way too critical of our Forest. Obviously, we left it in for a reason. We're not dumb and just play maps that we're bad at. We have a specific way we go about targeting picks and bans and vetoes and stuff like that, especially against the team that we're playing and the opponents that we're playing. So it's not like we're just leaving this map in just for the fun of it. We want to get railed on this map. Like, we obviously think we have a fighting chance. We think that we have what it takes, but
I'm just asking because the 2 I casted was like a 100-point club type.
Well, you look back at New Orleans, and we were getting 100-point clubbed on London docks every time. And so then now all of a sudden we're beating, you know, good teams on London docks and getting 100-point clubbed on Forest. So it's just one of those things where I think that we start off so slow and we struggle to come back on maps a lot of the times, and it just comes down to breakoffs and not starting off so slow.
All right. Well, the other thing I want to talk about is just sort of the team chemistry and morale right now. I'm not going to call out anything specific that I heard, but you guys were a bit heated after some of the losses. I mean, you and RC's kind of yelling at each other a little bit. Burns trying to get you guys to calm down. Like, is that just all competitive nature, or what's going on?
I don't know where Jack got his intel or whatever, and he was saying we had some internal problems or that we were infighting and stuff like that. That's not the case at all. We're all 4 of us professionals. We're all 4 mature. We're frustrated, sure, with our placings, but we're also, in both Dallas and New Orleans, 1 round away from being in the winners finals, beating TK in both round 11s. We're top 6 team in the world. We had a slightly, you know, rough first week, beating Splyce with a fill-in and then losing to FaZe 3-0, losing to LG last map. There's definitely some frustration there, but it's not like we're mad at each other or arguing with each other or anything like that. We all have a very open line of communication. We talk to each other. We had a sit-down team talk for about 4 hours on this past Saturday where we just kind of hashed out everything, what we thought we were doing wrong, watched all the film, went over it. So to kind of say that we're, you know, at each other's necks and arguing and stuff like that, I think it's a little too far.
Okay.
Obviously, if we lose a map, we lose it badly, we're going to be a little frustrated after it. And it's something that we've been working on as a team to not get so frustrated after map losses, especially on land. So, you know, being the first week of the league of our division, we also have 3 more weeks. We have playoffs, hopefully, and then we have Birmingham and Atlanta. So we're putting the best foot in front of the other. We're going to keep improving and, you know, hopefully show up everybody and prove that we're good enough to be here.
All right, well, good to hear. From Attach and Cap, you guys teamed with him. Did he ever yell at you?
No.
Both of them yelled at me a lot.
I yelled at Dylan a lot.
I was yelled at a lot.
He deserved it.
I believe that.
I just sat there quiet and took it every day.
Yeah, I bet you did. I bet at all.
Yeah, I think if it wasn't for Cap, we probably wouldn't have won champs in AW because Cap was really rough on Dylan a lot. Like, Dylan, he would say stupid stuff all the time, and I would just kind of like joke about it, and Cap would be like, no, what was that? Like, let's go back. What did you just say? And like actually like harp on it. So I think Cap was a main influencing factor of
Cap has molded Attach into the human that he
I was tired from school all those days, that's why.
Yeah,
if I wasn't
that's
tired
what it
from
was.
school, I would have been saying very intelligent things.
Kid was just, he's more mature now.
He's growing up a bit.
He was a head case.
yeah.
He was a handful to deal with.
All right, well, let's move forward to the next team. God, I still can't believe you 3 teamed together. That's amazing. All right, let's talk Evil Geniuses. I guess I just want to hear overall thoughts kind of on this team. They've been a little bit inconsistent. They look like a squad that absolutely deserves to be here at times, and sometimes they're getting smoked. That's an interesting look at the Evil Geniuses roster. That
They
is
look
Epsilon.
really European.
Yeah.
But yeah, but let's talk EG. Anyone have any kind of high-level thoughts just about the roster right now?
Not good.
Yeah.
I just feel like they don't work well together. Like, like they're 4 individually like talented players,
Yeah,
but
4 of the
together,
best
they
players.
just don't work at all. And like just the timings are off, the pushes, the communication. I don't know what exactly it is, but I just feel like together they just don't work well.
I think the
They don't-
term "too many Chiefs, not enough Indians" goes really well here. Like, honestly, you have 3 players who are just used to always leading their teams, and Aches and Abel and Nameless, and then they just keep fighting with each other. They just keep thinking this is the way to play, that's the way to play. I think they have the talent, and sometimes they show flashes in the pan of the teamwork of how good they can be, but it's just a matter of, you know, they have to break down and just be like, all right, you're the leader, you decide what we're going to do, and we're going to follow you, and I think that's a tough ask for that team.
Yeah, when they formed the team, a lot of like other pros, that as friends, we're talking to them, that's how it normally goes, and we're just like, you know, like Clay said, it's too many leaders.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, no, it'll be fine, you know, Pat, Aches will be the leader. And like Enable and Nameless, like, no, we want to like kind of step back from the leader roles we've had the past years. And everyone was talking, I'm like, yeah, okay, like, yeah.
Until
we'll
they argue
see how that goes.
after
And now,
one map loss for like 3 hours
now we're
straight.
at the point where it's like all those warnings we were giving them, it's like they're full circle, they're here. And
Did Enable just try to take over the FaZe roster to be the leader, and now we want to step back on
Yeah,
this
let's not
roster?
talk about that.
Let's not
Talk about that.
Mac, any thoughts on EG?
It's kind of weird for me because like I look at Nameless and Aches, and as like Aches, I look at it as an SMG for me. Nameless is an AR, and to see them both switch roles kind of like confuses me. I don't understand what's going on there. If they like think they are SMGs and ARs, I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like Aches has been an identity crisis with regards to weapons since like AW.
I mean,
that's kind of when it started.
The only map I remember Aches playing this past week was London Docks. He went 9-30 running a sub. So
Against Slasher too. That
I don't.
was,
I
know
don't
he felt
know.
that all
I
night.
don't know if I agree he's a submachine gun player.
Like if you look like Black Ops 2, where like
Well, yeah,
I mean,
that's a long time ago.
I picked Aches up in Black Ops 3 hoping he'd run a sub, and then in that game he decided when
I
to be
think
an
it
AR
was
player.
like AW, like
Took the AR to Slash, and Slash was running our sub for a little bit.
Didn't he run a Bal in AW too? Like towards like
yeah,
the,
maybe that's why like you used
Did
the
he?
bow a bit.
I think so.
Everyone looks
Identity
at Aches.
crisis.
Everyone
Oh,
looks
no.
at Aches back in Black Ops 2 Ghost as a sub player, but we're so far from that.
Yeah,
I don't think you can identify him as a sub player anymore.
Maybe.
I think we're all so good now that the roles are really blurred. I think especially after having games like Infinite Warfare and Black Ops 3, I think pretty much anybody can use any gun. I mean, obviously people have their specialties. Some people are better with a sub, some people are better with an AR, but we've been playing COD so long and shooting these guns for so long that's like using a submachine gun isn't some like crazy hard thing for an AR player. So
I can understand that. All right, well, EG, we'll see if they can figure it out. So far, haven't looked that strong in Division B. Next up, MadCat would talk to you about Unilad, a team that we thought had, kind of dark horse upset type power, and we've seen they've won 3 maps now. It's interesting. They've won a Hardpoint, a Search, and a CTF. Only 3, but it's been one of each. I guess, what are your thoughts of this team, and like, do they have a chance in this division?
What I see from this team is like 2 different things. I'm seeing too many gaps on the map. Like their pacing is so off. They have like Wuskin, which is very, very, very slow. Like he's not a slow AR, he's a very, very, very slow AR. And they seem to have like a gap where it's not being filled. So that the trade that Wuskin needs to come and get isn't there. It's too late.
Interesting. Okay.
So I think they've swapped now. I think Scraps is an SMG.
I think I saw that on Twitter.
And Moose
Yeah,
is now an FG player or AR player. So I think that might help. And also, one of them's always shit in the bed every map.
yeah,
Like every map, there's someone way too neg to take on a top team. Like
I think a lot of top teams struggle with that. Like it's the pacing issue along with somebody just shitting the bed every single map. No matter, and it swaps people. Who happens? It's the same thing with on our team as well. And I feel like a lot of reasoning behind that is because sometimes in this game when people start off double negative, their pacing is so messed up and they don't reset their pacing. And a lot of times if you're not resetting your timing and resetting your pacing, you're just going to keep dying over and over. And it's something that even on our team I've been trying to focus on really, really hard these past couple of weeks.
Well, it's just with it's the 16 best teams in the world, right? If you have one guy that's not performing, it's going to be tough to get victories, I think, for any team here. I do want to... Oh, did you guys see the thing the other day? We talked about a little bit on the analysis desk, but it killed me. I was talking to APOC, and they were watching... they're watching film over of their S&D on Arden Forest. And apparently, like the stun you throw over Bell to hit them in B, they were seeing the guy was never stunned. The Scraps was throwing the stun incorrectly the entire time they were playing it, so it was never actually stunning them in ruins. And I was like, well, that sort of defines where this team's at for me. So the stun was popping like top Bell and never actually hitting
Even
it.
the issue, like we rewatched that because that was against us. We rewatched that, and even if the stun never popped or popped, they still didn't rush. So they sat back, so it didn't matter if he was stunned or not.
Well, they might have not pushed because it didn't hit anything. I don't know what the play was, but
still, like if you're pushing someone, you smoked, you've naded. If the stun hits or not, you're still going. Like I was trapped like on the bomb at one stage, and he didn't push me. The smoke went, killed 2 people. Like you need to be taking advantage of your
Well, especially you and Felony there. Like you and Felony were working together. Like you guys can't have the best chemistry on a site together yet. You just started playing with them. So I thought they'd take advantage of that.
Fellow is like the best U player ever.
Oh yeah, he just sprints
he
in
died
there.
once in 3 maps at you. That doesn't make sense.
No, he was definitely taking care of people there. It was impressive to see. But all right, let's talk about the last place team then right now. Epsilon, MadCat, I'm going to go to you again, as you just probably more familiar with the squad. But are they going to be better come June, or is this team in trouble?
This team, oi.
At least they're handsome.
They dropped the leader for a trash can, I'd say.
Wait, did they drop Josh?
They dropped Josh.
Or
Yeah.
unsanitized?
I mean,
Nathan.
the Josh thing had to happen. With the circumstances they were under, that had to happen.
Okay.
But you replace him with like Marky B, like even though Marky B is a meme, you need the leadership.
Oh my God, these EU players are so mean.
Man,
Like,
throwing shots at
I love it.
everybody.
Yeah, that Nathan kid I feel like is the best player on that team.
Yeah, but they need the other 3 could be the best, but they need leadership.
Nice.
They need a dad. Like B-Swap was basically the father. Like he'd put on his like boots and that, and like take him to school.
Pack their lunch.
Wake up, matches to play, let's go.
They need the leader, and like I don't
Dave,
think.
did you eat today?
I think Nathan. I was watching. Like he was trying to be the leader, but having the youngest person and
the new guy
and the most inexperienced player as your leader, he has not really given the respect that someone like Josh. Like Josh really like, you get there now, you get there. If you're not there, you dropped. Like, like he's not going to be able to do that. So I think they need to find where they're at right now.
Yeah, I guess that's my question then. If they don't have that leader role, like, are you sort of counting them out for this year, or like, do they need to make a change, or do you think they can figure out this 4-man roster?
If you listen to the listenings from IW, I think there was one specific one that stood out. I think it was the retaliation hardpoint, and Josh is asking the other 3 players, "Can you call out for me?" And that's the 3 players you're expecting to be your most experienced in the roster, and you're bringing someone to teach these people how to play the game. That can't happen. They need to be teaching him. And if he's putting off, like, I think it's like a 1.25 right now. Like, he's picking up the kills. Like, he just needs help.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see if they can figure it out. I mean,
Hopefully.
you heard the Dave interview. He thinks they're going to in a couple of months. So maybe.
I mean, you never want to go in an interview like that and talk about your team like that. I don't care if you're trying to be funny or sarcastic, or you're just trying to make a funny clip with Deserto. But regardless of what it is, if any one of my teammates ever went into an interview and was talking about our team like that, they're dropped instantly, straight up. They're gone.
It was, to be fair, I'm glad it happened because I really enjoyed the interview. But I get it. Like,
hilarious interview. Don't get me wrong.
You don't want to hear someone that's counting your team out for the next 3 months.
Not when you're sitting next to them.
Competing for hundreds of thousands of dollars. So he's like, "No, we suck." It's like, what, dude? We practice all day. Come on, grow up.
Well,
I mean, they do not practice.
There you go.
Well,
Like, they
part of it.
try, but no one
nice.
plays them in Europe. Like, their best scrims like Marky B.
all right. Well, we got a lot more stuff to talk about. We'll turn and touch more on the teams down the road. But now let's move into player intel. This is a section we're going to talk more about personal stuff with each of you, less Call of Duty centric, as we'll get into it. And MadCat, you're going to be the first person. I've got a bunch of weird stuff for you.
Oh God.
I'm ready.
I hope Tommy.
He's been hyping this up. I really want to.
I
want to hear what it is.
I hope I'm not being trolled because I talked to Tommy for a while.
Oh, are you being trolled?
Probably. First off, can we show the tweet from Tommy? Because I just need to know. so did they do this, or do you actually lay out your clothes like this?
No, listen. That photo is past a visa photo that I took to the embassy with me, and it just happened to still be in my bag. So when I was getting my clothes ready for the gym, I threw the photo somewhere, and they found it. So when I was at the gym with Momo, I scrolled through Twitter and it come up. I was like, what the? And like these clothes were all on hangers and whatnot. Like all these clothes were on hangers, so they took my clothes from the closet and just put it on the bed and thought it was funny.
Nah, yeah.
I thought it was funny.
I want to know if you actually laid your clothes out like that.
I mean, no, retaliation is soon to come.
Okay.
Retaliation.
Like this week, like while we're here.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be
let's
looking
get
forward
it.
to it.
Nice.
All right.
Sabotaging the chemistry.
We still got more though. So I asked Tommy, longtime teammate of yours, for some maybe some quirks you have or some weird things, and I hope these are true. First off, he told me that you preheat the microwave.
Oh, not this one. That's Bantz's joke size.
So that's not a real thing?
No, the other one was I microwaved the bacon as well.
Okay, so you don't actually preheat the microwave. Tommy made it sound like you run the microwave for 2 minutes before you actually put something in the microwave.
Come on.
And I was like, he's a psychopath. No way around it.
Stay away from him.
Are you sure? Tell me the truth. Do you preheat the
I mean, he
microwave?
just might be in 3018.
You don't put food in microwaves. That is not good.
Oh, so you just don't you don't believe in microwaves?
I don't use microwaves either.
I do.
Microwaves like
Hey,
like
pro tip,
What?
if you want your food not to get trashed from a microwave, put a glass of water in there with it. So the microwave will pull the moisture out of the glass of water instead out of your food. So you don't get like chewy bread or soggy pizza,
And no, if you're ever reheating pizza, always put on like the stove, in like a pan on the stove. It makes it so
But
much
if you
better.
got a
and crunchy again.
microwave, you
Oh, yeah.
cup too,
Might as well just-
glass of water in the microwave.
All right. Okay. We're learning all sorts of stuff today. Next one. He told me that I guess when you eat Chipotle, you need to have a specific ratio with your chicken and rice, where it's 10 grains of rice per piece of chicken.
I mean, if he was telling the truth, I only eat chicken and rice from Chipotle. Like, I don't have any extras as chicken and rice. Like, that would be the fact, but the other thing's just not a fact.
Yeah, he made it sound like you had a severe issue of needing to have a.
He's
very-
counting.
You
Get all the rice off.
Sitting there counting the grains of rice. Like,
Tom-
One.
He's the one with the issue.
gets a
clearly.
forkful. It's like,
Hey,
got
hey,
10.
just-
No, that's 12. No, that's 12. Oh my God.
Take that rice off.
And just to let you know, if these aren't true, I'll help you with the vengeance on Tommy a bit because he sent me a bunch of stuff. The next one is where the origin of the name MadCat came from, and I really hope this one's true.
Oh, let's see this one.
He told me that when you were young, when you would want to hit on girls, you would pretend to be a cat, and they'd be like, "Oh no, the MadCat is coming."
The retaliation's getting.
That's frightening.
No,
Can we
he's
talk about
he's
Tommy sitting there making up these stories in his head? He's gonna watch this and crack.
I said to Tommy too. I was like,
hard.
these don't sound true. And then I decided, I was like, even if they're not true, this is still gonna be fun. So, Tommy, I hate.
Is there any more?
No, that was. That was.
The MadCat is
The
coming.
MadCat is coming.
Yeah.
Tommy's getting banned off Twitter.
I pictured him in like middle school, just like pretend to be a cat going after girls. So it's like, God. I kind of see it, honestly.
I do not
Put
see
little
it.
ears on you. And just... All right, JKap, it's your turn. MadCat, I'm done with you. All right, so we grabbed a picture. I know you're really excited about this. You, TJ, Haley, and Enable all went to the Super Bowl.
What a
Great
cute
time.
family.
I just kind of want to hear about it. I know you're a huge Philly sports fan, huge Eagles fan. That had to be pretty special for you.
It was awesome. Like, it was basically up there with winning champs. It was like the greatest day of my life. So much fun. The atmosphere at the Super Bowl was unlike anything else ever.
I mean, that's a dream come true, dude.
Yeah.
To go to the Super Bowl
Yeah.
and watch your team win the Super Bowl,
Exactly.
man. I'm jealous.
I've been to like a lot of Eagles games or Sixers, Phillies, Flyers, everything, but the Super Bowl was next level. The crowd was unbelievable.
And that game was insane.
Yeah, and the fact that like in the stadium it's probably like 3-1 Eagles to Pats fans.
sounded like
so it was cool. It was great to have like a home.
I'm
field
glad your
advantage
team
almost.
won. I'm glad your
Thanks,
team won.
though.
Now they just need a free meat meal. That's all I gotta
Yes,
do.
that's the next step.
Attach, we're going to you next. I just want to hear about that special moment for you, JKap. It was a little brief thing, but I was just really happy for you. That was pretty
Thank you.
awesome. I was thinking about you the entire time that the Eagles were making plays. Like JKap
You were
shows up.
texting me. You were texting me.
Sure, I
during-
was. I was texting you.
Some texts we can't talk about.
And you were responding to me at the Super Bowl, so that's friendship. Attach, I want to look at this tweet. You tweeted this about Tommy in a scrim. I just thought it was funny. Why didn't you run the flag made cut? Sorry, I had a spider on my face. Well, it was kind of funny, and also I'm terrified of spiders, so I was imagining a spider on my face mid-COD game, I would have died. But I mostly want to hear from you guys, since you guys have teamed together as well. Like, are there any you've been teaming with Tommy forever. Like, are there any, like, ridiculously just hilarious moments that have happened, like, during scrims or just amongst the team? And JKap and Clay can get in this, too, as you guys have all kind of...
I mean, there's just been a ton, especially when he talks like his Italian accent. I mean, it just gets like things get pretty wild in the team speak when he starts doing that, because obviously he's just like he's very Italian, and when the accent comes out, you know he's either destroying people or he's just pissed off and raging and saying some very explicit things I cannot repeat.
The videos from his dad killed.
Literally,
I love his dad.
I cannot
So
wait
funny.
to hang out with his dad again in Birmingham. His dad is like one of the funniest people I've ever met.
Every time he tweets those videos, I just know I'm in
It's-
for like a good 5 minute
yeah.
laugh. Like, they're
It's-
so good.
And then there's also obviously some ones that don't get shown to Twitter, and those are, oh my god,
Even better.
They're the best. The funniest videos, the funniest voice recordings ever.
Oh, I imagine, because even the ones on Twitter were a bit
The ones where-
vulgar. So it's like the ones we're not seeing, they got to do great.
Yeah, he had one after routine with Gunless for a little bit. He's like, yeah, that new guy, guns. He's like, Gunless. And he's good. Yeah, it was just like really funny. His dad's hilarious.
Oh, man.
Too many good moments.
You guys have any the crazy moments when you guys used to play together? Dash?
I mean, not about Tommy, maybe about Dylan.
Oh, yeah, just- I mean, we're just
yeah,
the
when
roster,
we were living in the FaZe team house in Austin. We're in the middle of a 2K.
Oh, God.
mid 2K. He's like, yo, I got to go use the bathroom in the middle of the map. And we're like, oh, okay, whatever. It's like early
Like
rounds.
round
You
two,
can
round
go
two.
do whatever you want to do. 10 minutes later, he comes back on the mic in the middle of the map. He's like, yo, the toilet's overflowing.
No. That's not what happened.
Yes, that is
No,
what happened,
No, I
dude.
go back to my setup, and then Ian goes, dude, I think I hear the toilet overflowing. He hears like the sound of water like hitting something.
Oh my
And
god.
then Clay.
Dude, so then Dylan comes back. He's like, yeah, the toilet is overflowing. And I was like, so, like, turn off the water or, like, stop it. And he's like, I don't know how to do that. So I have to sprint from downstairs, upstairs, into his bathroom to, like, shut off the valve for the
Yeah.
water in the back. There's just water everywhere all over the bathroom.
Clay was there
It
so
was
quick.
disgusting.
Clay
It
was
was
Clay was
disgusting.
there so quick. I'm like, oh yeah, the toilet's overflowing. So he's like, go stop it. I'm like, okay. Next thing I know, he's up there like on the toilet like this. I'm like, wait, how did he get up here so quick? I'm like, what the?
Because the bathroom was right above my walk-in closet. So if it just, like, soaked through the floor, it's just all my clothes were ruined, dude. So I was up there with the quickness.
Oh, that was funny.
That's disgusting.
That was fun.
It is
that was
disgusting.
funny. I hate Dylan. That's why we hate Dylan.
Clay sat there for like 3 minutes trying to convince me to
Didn't
put
do
my
anything
hand in
about
it.
it. Just comes downstairs.
Ugh.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the toilet was overflowing. I forgot.
Well,
to
that
tell
was
you
your
guys.
first time. That was your first time like living on your own.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get a pass.
Yeah, and I've met your mother. She's lovely. I bet she took very good care of you, but probably too good care of you that you did not
Yeah.
take care of yourself at all.
Yeah.
So it became Papa Clayster.
His idea of doing the dishes was putting it in the sink.
Whoa. At least I put it in the thing. Whoa. I got another story now about Clay.
That's how Jack does it.
I got a story
No,
about Clay.
stories about me, dude.
Clay, there was like a yogurt and like some bag of chips left on like the couch, and Clay's like took a picture of it and sent it in the group chat. He goes, "Whose is this?" And then like 30 minutes later, like we go downstairs and it's still there. It's like you couldn't even clean it up after he like took a picture and sent it to us.
I'm not your maid.
Well, that's not that bad.
But no,
If someone left it there.
listen.
Right?
If someone left it there, I would like.
Chris did the most work. I cleaned the second most, and that's fact.
Oh, I didn't clean up after anybody. I'm not anybody's mom.
Straight
I cleaned my own room. I threw my own stuff away. Took my own trash out. Y'all on your own.
Yeah, no, my room was always super clean, but then the kitchen and the living room got very dirty.
I sort of wish you all lived together. That sounds like it was a fun time. But Clay, we'll get to you next. Yours is, I guess, a little bit more serious in a way, but you posted a couple tweets the other day just sort of talking about
space.
No, don't worry. We're not going where you thought we might have.
Oh, okay.
But this was.
Oh, thank God, dude.
Trust me, I thought about going down that road. But,
Lord.
boy.
that would have been too hot, Mike.
Yeah, that would have gotten real hot up here.
Yes, it would have.
Fire
All right,
in the booth.
this is more a couple tweets just talking about your motivation, how you worked your way up. You've obviously been competing forever since like day one of Call of Duty Esports. I guess I sort of just want to hear from you a little bit what that journey was like and how much different it is now for you. Kind of seeing how it was at the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to put into words because it still is really surreal for me to go from being this 15-year-old kid just grinding GBs for fun with my real-life friends at all times to then now playing in the World League and being on the main stage just as a top team in the world. And I think a lot of people don't really realize how hard we really did work to be in this position, to be here, how many hours we put in the game, how much stuff we've sacrificed, the struggles we go through, the stuff we put to the side, the relationships we put to the side, all this stuff we do to be in this position that we're at. And I think even us pro players don't give ourselves credit enough, and I think that's really what that tweet was about, is kind of just making sure that whatever you're doing in life and however you're doing it, if you're going to school, if you're working, if you're taking care of family members, whatever it is, just having respect for yourself and what you've got, like where you're at right now, however you've gotten there, even if it's just working a minimum wage job, doing something 9 to 5, it's like just be proud of who you are and how you've gotten here. Okay. And I really just think that a lot of people don't really think about that a lot. They're just kind of like, oh, I'm here, I earned it. But it's like to really think about that and respect what you've done, what you've accomplished, and especially us four up here, winning major tournaments in a game that millions of people play. That's something, I mean, it's hard enough as is. And
it's special.
And you have to take a step back sometimes and really just look at it from a third-person perspective and just, you got to love what you got to do.
I love it. Deep thoughts.
No, also, I want to keep touching on that. But, yeah, it's very cool to see all your, success and what you've done over the years. But it's also cool to see, the older players in, the scene that have been here from the start, still playing and competing because they kind of, set the road and the path for competitive Call of Duty or whatever it may be because they were here, very early when they were super young playing. So you always got to show respect to, the OGs and stuff who, kind of set the way for everyone.
Well, I'm proud of all of you guys, but let's move on to our next segment. We're going to Declassified. This is where we're going to talk about kind of what's coming up this week, right? We've got a lot of Call of Duty left. We're not even halfway through Stage 1 at this point. First thing I want to do is kind of take a look at the Week 4 schedule and just maybe highlight some of the matches you guys think are going to be really big this week, ones that are going to be your top matchups throughout the course of this. Let's take a look through it. So here's the full line of matchups. Let's go day by day. Tuesday, anything that stands out to you to be the really, really big match?
Splyce versus LG, EU versus Envy, I would say are the two biggest easily.
I think the Unilad one stands out for me as well because it's a big win for them. They need that win.
They need a victory desperately.
Because they can't go into the second day against Epsilon with 0 losses and have to fight for a win against Epsilon.
I think
Epsilon are going to lose to Envy.
Fight.
So it's going to be Epsilon versus Unilad for the first win. Unilad can't have that. If they want any chance of not going to relegation, they need that win versus FaZe.
Okay. What about Wednesday? Anything that looks like a big match for you guys? I think LG FaZe should be good to close out the night.
Envy Splyce, LG FaZe. Yeah.
Way tougher.
Yeah, I don't think there's any teams in our game where you just write everyone off. In Division A, there was teams at the start. Moanfinks had a bad start, and then
Vitality
everyone started writing them off. Then Vitality, then Era. No one rated them off until they started playing bad.
Yeah.
Whereas our group, you can't write them off.
Yeah, if you write them off, you're gonna lose. And
yeah. Dude, talking Cap, you just said it. Your week this coming week is so hard. Our week last week was the top three teams in the division. So it's weird how that works out. How sometimes one week is going to be significantly harder than the other. And I think at least for us, beating Envy and EG and then Unilad Epsilon to go 4-0 next week would be really, really big for us.
Well, let's really quick. I want to take a look at the Division B standings again real fast and just have a real quick conversation. Like, as far as these teams in the bottom 4, so basically eUnited through Epsilon, which teams are really, I guess, have a really good chance to crack into the top 4 at the end of this first half?
eUnited, for sure, because like he said, they had a very tough week. And, but yeah, I mean, if you have a tough week, and let's say you lose a few matches, you're probably going to win those matches against the, I guess, the lesser teams.
Because they still have a game in hand, so realistically, if they win the next game, they're still probably 4th.
Sure.
They have a game in hand on us.
Well, good thing for, I guess, they went to a bunch of Game 5s. Yeah, I was trying to think who all went to you. The good thing about your 2 losses, too, for Splyce, you guys went to Game 5 with both, so you at least got 2 maps in each of those. So you're going to have a ton of map victories. But, yeah, you got to feel like eUnited definitely at the bottom there has the best chance. Anyone else that you think can swing things around or just going to take more time? Maybe the second half of your guys'
Yeah, maybe the second half. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think this week. I mean, the best chance out of the other 3 would be EG, but they've been.
You haven't seen much.
Just like the other 2 EU teams, they're doing role swaps right now. So that can go horribly wrong or it can click.
Yeah, those never usually go well, those role swaps. They always kind of just, it takes a little bit to get used to it usually.
Well, at least we have, 3 weeks left of this stage, so there's still a lot of time.
Yeah, a lot of Call of Duty.
All right, well, now let's talk. I want to take a look real quick at, we're going to rewind time a little bit here, just because this is the last time we're going to talk to you guys before then Division A comes in, because they'll be in next week. So can we take a look at the Division A standings, as we're going to get to the second half of their week kicked off next week. I guess I just want to chat real loosely while we're looking at this and how you guys think it kind of wraps up. Like, how does it play out? You think the top 4 are going to stay the top 4?
Yep, Vitality need to get a spot going after that.
Who's getting relegated then, maybe? Who's going to be your bottom 2?
Vitality need to go.
Probably the 2 there right now.
I would say Vitality. Actually, Mindfreak looked pretty good.
Yeah, Mindfreak was taking 100-point club in top and 8 teams on hard point.
I'd
So.
say the 2 there.
I mean, Bosso was getting kills, so they could probably break the top 4. You know, like.
Who?
Mindfreak.
Oh, wouldn't that be crazy if also Mindfreak after the first week?
That would be
if
insane.
they had stole another win, but the 2 and 5 versus the 5 and 2 difference is so crazy.
Yeah.
And I love all the Mindfreak guys, but if Shocks came to North America or even Europe, I think he could be on like
and
the top
Fighter,
15.
bro.
Easy.
Them 2.
Easy.
Well, there was that rumor they were going to be back in, was that Black Ops 3?
Yeah, I think Aches on Cloud9 was trying to pick him up.
Yeah, it's IW.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, was it IW?
Yeah,
It's Aches on Cloud9, I think, was trying to pick him up.
Yeah, no, Shocks is nasty.
No, and I like them all, and I think they're all good. I think it's just a matter, they're probably the 4 best players in Australia, but they don't really work as well as they should together. You know, I don't know. It's weird. Them being a team still.
It's like what happened in Europe at one stage. The top 4 are that good, are better than everyone, that you can't get anyone else. But them 4 players do not work well together. But you can't get no one else because no one else individually is better.
But you guys are thinking, for the most part, no major shakeup.
No.
Probably
Yeah, I think I agree. That's pretty
I
top
think
heavy.
Everett might be able to win a few games if Ferro stops shooting bodies.
It's just
Eric should
they
have
learn
won.
how to use streaks.
Yeah, their streaks are the worst thing I've seen
They
in
could have
my
beat
life.
TK that first map.
It's just too big of a gap. If Echo Fox or Mindfreak were like 3 and 4 rather than 2 and 5, I could see one of them sneaking in the top 4. But
Echo Fox has been bad too. Like that second week, they're 1 and 12 in map counts. Like that's just that's like
Really?
something that's difficult.
I didn't realize they were
The
that
only
bad.
map they won was against Optic, I believe. Actually, they got swept in the rest of their series.
Wow,
So
That's tough.
That's
that's
good.
yeah.
painfully
It
bad.
was not good. Okay, well, let's hop to the next section. This is actually going to be community questions. So we basically tweet out before the show. I'll tweet out. MLG tweets out. And we try to get some questions for each of you if we can. I believe we have one question for all of you guys. I don't remember the exact order of them, but I believe we're kicking it off with MadCat. There was a question for you. Let's start getting into these, and you guys can discuss them. All right, so first one. And I think we kind of touched on this a little bit earlier in the show, but he's just kind of looking to see how the mood is after tying up 2-2. How you guys just feeling now that you're back in the mix?
Joe's about to hit people with the sound. He's gonna come in straight smoking everything.
Well, I didn't know
Hit him
what
with the
that
sound.
meant.
What is
Hit
that?
him with the sound.
Like sound waves?
Clap.
I've never heard that.
Hit him with the sound.
Yeah, I guess like Joe's gonna come in with some form of fire.
I would hope
It's
so.
hate to see your team lose 2 map 5s, especially when you're at home. So I think he's gonna come in with the fire. We're gonna come in for the fire. And it's gonna be a 3-0 week.
It's going to be
You
hot.
haven't really touched
here.
on that, but like watching your own team play from home has got to be the most frustrating thing in
Has
the
anyone
world,
done
dude.
that before?
Yeah, I don't think
Fuck
so.
Saints?
Yeah, I don't think so.
That happened
Saints.
to Goonjar
Goonjar.
for the Black Ops
Oh,
3.
for
They had
relegation.
Embos. They had
No,
Embos
that
fill
must have
in.
been heartbreaking. Dude, relegation.
Yeah,
bro.
that's got to be.
I forgot that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that had to have been real frustrating. All right, next question. This is for JKap. For JKap, mainly you've teamed with John for the past 3 years. Is he the actual time torture? Because he's been mentioned in that capacity about 1,000 times.
Every pro will tell you that. It's
what's wrong
unanimous. He just disappears. He's so carefree and easygoing that like there's no schedule in his head. Everything's just kind of loose and just going as he goes. He doesn't think about like, oh, I need to be there in 10 minutes. He's just like, oh, we gotta like.
Does
leave
he smoke
soon.
cigarettes?
I think he's actually quit recently.
Oh, bro,
Yes.
people who smoke cigarettes are the biggest time torches in the world, bro.
Well,
They
yeah.
just disappear after
But
every map.
he's on his own schedule all the time. He just disappears.
That would
randomly
drive
all the
me
time.
nuts.
Oh, it drives me crazy.
I hate being late for anything.
His
Same.
sense of time is really weird. Like
Non-existent.
if he has to be on at 6, he'll just like randomly show up like 6:45, and it's like
I will give him credit while we're live. He's better now than he has been in the past
much
2 years.
better. Black Ops 3, John, was the ultimate.
It
time
was
torture.
ridiculous. He's better now. He's maturing, but he still has his moments. At NOLA, we were about to scrim in person on land. We're about to scrim, and he walked 20 minutes the other way to go get Starbucks.
Well, he actually said to me,
As we're setting up.
he joked with me the other day. He's like, why won't you have me on hot mic? Is it because I'm short or something? He just made some kind of joke, and I was like, I don't know that you'll be here on time. Like, you're gonna show up for the show. Like, I'd be worried about that. Like, honestly, I'd be like, is he gonna make it here in time? I have no idea.
It's a real concern. Because he won't set an alarm. He'll just kind of wake up
All right.
whenever he wakes up.
Well, John, grow up. You've got a girlfriend, I believe, and a life. Take care of yourself and your teammates. Next up is Attach. Let's see what question we have for you.
Dang.
Whoa.
Wow. Putting on the spot.
So how did it feel?
It was a team effort, and everyone played well. I'm sure United didn't play up to their potential, but we played well. I'm sure they weren't that happy with their performance. But next time it's gonna be a closer
suck.
game.
What are we, 2-2 now against each other on land this year?
Yeah, 2-2.
That's very weak.
That was a
trash
problem.
talk.
How good did it feel? He's like, well, they might not have been playing up to their best. That was awful.
Boo.
Listen, I'm not a trash talker. I'm a lover.
Okay. Next question. This one's for Clayster. For Clayster, what is it like being coached by a former $25,000 Call of Duty FFA national champion? Is it hard to get out of the former player's shadow like that?
Burns used the personal radar in that tournament, the MW3 free-for-all. It's a little like radar thing you put on the ground. It's like a UAV around you. So I've just been trying to learn how to do that. Just get a personal radar at all times. Burns has been really helping me with that. But, you know, it's hard to escape his shadow. I mean, it's so big. It's just, he's a legend. Legend.
It is. I coached Burns for a brief period of time. He's one of my favorite players of all time. But, Burns, you were never very good.
Wow.
Ouch.
I didn't mean that.
I feel like Liquid was pretty good.
Oh, you were, Burns.
App and
I was
Merc
kidding.
and App,
Before
right?
they got,
Yeah, they
before they
were
got
free for a little bit.
reverse swept.
Well, the Curse team, they had to deal with Mochila. That's tough. And Enable. They were just arguing the entire time. It was incredible.
Was that the Curse House where like Crow and Mud Dog were?
Yeah.
Yeah,
on
we
the
had
other-
Curse
Yeah, the
Orange,
other
Curse
Curse team.
Black.
Tipsy,
Go on
I
team
thought
with them.
Yeah, that was a great team.
That's not Tipsy on the team. I thought Tipsy was going to kill like Burns at all times. that was like the most passive aggressive team I've ever seen. Like I thought they were going to fight.
I feel like Burns got bullied in that Curse House.
Yes,
Definitely.
absolutely. So I would
This
get
was
him.
back in Ghost
They
Guys.
had like vlogs of it. They were just like kick his suitcase every other minute.
So I'd bring him pizza and be
feel
like,
bad.
"Here you go, Burns. Feel better. Some Papa John's.
Oh,
Tipsy
man.
might kill you." Yo, Tipsy was so jacked, man. Like I thought he was going to spear Burns through a wall at one point.
Tipsy was
so many arguments.
All right. Okay, guys. I do want to take a look quickly at the schedule then for the matches Tuesday to kick off the second week of Week B, obviously, of Division B. That's what you guys are all here for. We looked at it a little bit earlier, but here are the big matchups. Kicking off at 4, it's going to be Epsilon versus Team Envious, and you see the rest of the slot there. It's going to be a phenomenal week, and after this will actually mark the halfway point then for Division A and B. So overall at Stage 1, we will be at the halfway point. It's double round robin. We'll be through our first set of round robin. Everyone will play played each other once. And that's going to bring us to our final thing here for the show. So this is our segment called Last Stand. Just typically a question that might be on the community's mind, or honestly probably it's on my mind that I want to hear you guys talk about a little bit. For this one, it's going to be, we just saw the complexity, I believe, went like 0-2 on the final day of the national circuit. They don't end up qualifying for the national circuit playoffs. This is a team that Mini said belonged in the league or compete in the league. They can't even qualify for playoffs in the national circuit. Like, I guess, like, how embarrassing is that?
So when this team got announced, Complexity released a little statement. They're like, we finally found a team to live up to our historic Complexity team. And then they don't even make the Amateur League playoffs. So I think that speaks enough for itself. I think all those players on that team are really upset with themselves for not even making it to the national circuit playoffs.
Question for you, though. Technically, did Splyce knock them out? Because Splyce did borrow felony from
that whole thing
I'm just kidding.
absolute, like, Fellow was on to scrim. It was the other people not ready to scrim.
Well, really? Oh,
yeah,
I didn't hear that.
they can't. Yeah, Haggy needs to get himself out of that situation real quick.
I heard Haggy played really well.
Yeah,
I didn't watch the matches.
That doesn't. Nah, like he
tell by his
played well.
tweets he was carrying.
But like that doesn't
From
make
his tweets, at least.
that doesn't still mean you can go on Twitter and say
was
I've been costed. If you've been costed that bad, drop them players. Don't play with them. Don't go on Twitter and spill beans out on Twitter and be a keyboard warrior.
That is parasite.
That shit can't run. That can't run.
Well, what did you guys
Because
think?
I'll be at your doorstep, knocking that down. You know what I'm saying?
What did you think about Cap?
I was getting pretty pissed off reading his tweets. You just don't tweet that stuff.
Yeah, I would lose full as I get.
Don't throw your teammates under the bus.
You just don't.
Oh, bro,
if it's a problem, you drop a teammate, you talk to them.
I'd rather someone tell me in person you costed me rather than Twitter, bro. At least you was a man about it. I'm typing, you costed me. Hey, bro, come on, man, some bitch shit.
So it's more embarrassing. Like the loss is embarrassing, than kind of how it was handled afterwards.
Yeah.
Also
And I also think that with what Complexity is doing for that team, with the the health benefits, 401k, having apartments for them, and wherever they're at in Texas, I mean, you really have to perform better than that. It's like almost as bad as the Ghost Gaming living in a $15 million mansion, and it's if you're getting these kind of these steps ahead, where you're getting like a chef cooking for you, and you have your housing paid for, and you have health benefits and stuff like that, like you really have to step up and at least perform for your team and perform for your organization, because if they're offering all this stuff to you, I mean, this is like that's real deal stuff, man. I mean, to go that far and have all that paid for you and not qualify for the Amateur League playoffs, that's embarrassing, man.
Yeah, so I think we're all kind of on the same page. I didn't even know it was close. We've been so busy with this the main league. I haven't really followed the national circuit that much personally. So when I saw it, I was just like, what? Like I assumed they were a shoe-in. Like I figured they'd be number one. Just take a look at the rosters. But yeah,
I think they were going the last day, and then
They were first seed going into the last day.
Wait, they went from first seed to not qualifying by one day?
Yeah, it was
I didn't know that.
Top 4 made it.
so that's a collapse.
That is a collapse.
But hey, that'll do it for Last Stand, and that'll do it for Hot Mic. Guys, thank you so much for coming on. I had a blast, but now it's time to hop into the matches. Second week of Division B will begin now. Thanks for watching Hot Mic. We'll see you next week.